All right, I've been looking forward to doing this test for a while, right? So I have a brand new TU282HP. It's the TI Automotive aftermarket hat replacement for the 05 to 10 Mustangs. So I've known for a while that these do not flow as advertised. The market, a lot of places advertise them as a quote unquote 400 liter per hour pump. And some other companies, because obviously TI makes them all, some are rebranded for other companies. Like there's a BBK one that actually listed as 300 liters per hour. But there's no actual rating for it in the paperwork that comes with it. It's just some install guide and warranty information, right? So if you didn't check it out yet, yesterday I did a video of testing the actual 262 Walbro 400 liter hour pump in a OEM fuel hat. And then I tested it with the PPRV valve deleted. So there's the numbers from yesterday's video. So if you haven't checked that out, I suggest you do. Basically, it shows you how much flow you're losing from the PPRV and the Venturi siphon dump, right? So I'll tell you right off the bat, it's not the same pump. So if you look at a real 262, it has a gray top. Right, that's what the actual aftermarket F90000 262 Walbro 400 liter per hour pump looks like. And the pump in this hat, well, similar construction. It's white plastic, right? It's in the housing. Now, years ago, I took one of these apart to upgrade, and I want to say the part number was like 265 or 268. So there's like a dozen different versions of the dual channel single stage TI Automotive pumps, right? Numbers ranging from 262 to 295 is the latest right now. So some of the numbers were reserved for applications like this. They're not a standalone aftermarket pump you can order inside. It comes in some kind of assembly. But over the years I've seen, because I've been making these style hats since this pump came out. I want to say it was 2011, 2012, something like that. But I was anxiously awaiting, literally the minute these new DCSS pumps hit the market, I started testing them and building fuel hats and seeing what they were capable of. So it's a proven setup. And then a couple years later, when they promoted this direct replacement version, guys thought they were getting the Walbro 400, but they really weren't. Had guys maximum at 450, 475, peg and duty cycle in the upper RPMs and boost, right? So now we'll actually take a deep dive into it, test it on the flow rig, see how it actually flows, and compare it to the aftermarket pump in an OEM hat. So I've been looking forward to this. It's going to be cool. So I'll go over a couple things on the hat. The main reason I don't like aftermarket hats is the sender assemblies are typically not as reliable. I know when this pump first came out, first revision of it, it actually had an additional ground, causing the pump to drive 100% all the time and cause error codes. I think it was a P0191 or something, because the driver module couldn't control the pump because it was grounded, causing it to run 100%. It couldn't pulse modulate it. So a lot of guys would have to cut that wire. This newest version that I just got does not have that. It does have the Venturi dump and siphon in here, but it also has like this auxiliary transfer tube. So I'm curious to see if fuel's going to leak out of here too. So it's got a small orifice in there. So we'll see what that guy's all about. Some kind of pressure relief maybe. Different version of like a PPRV valve pressure relief. So it's unique to this hat. It's not like the OEM style PPRV. So I imagine what that is. So it probably has some kind of backflow. Because if I look in there, I can kind of see a seat. So, and then maybe it relieves the pressure here. But I'm not sure. So we'll see if anything leaks out of that while I run it. But without further ado, been talking enough. I'm going to go ahead and get this set up. We'll get this out of the way. And put on the test bench so we can see what it does. down. There we go. Put her in. Moment of truth. All right, so that little side port. Oh look, 1.3 to 1.4. I already tell you it doesn't flow as good. And look, I'm only drawing 12 amps. And that's what I've known for a while, because the fact that they sold this as a drop-in, so the actual 262 pump needs upgraded wiring to perform properly, right? So it doesn't pull too much current on the factory wiring. This is advertised as a direct drop-in, so I knew it had to be a detuned pump so that it could handle, it could run on stock wiring. So you're not going to have the same amount of performance. And there you go, it's a lower current version of the pump. Term we like to use, a detuned version. It's not as strong a motor. Doesn't flow as much, doesn't pull as much amps. So that's right off the bat, and just so you can see we're at 40. But we'll take you down here first, right? You can see it's kind of hard to see, but I can see the siphon tube dumping just like the other one. And then that little, I want to say that's an aftermarket or the version of the PPRV on this hat, but there's nothing coming out of that right now. Actually, I want to turn it off and watch it. See if anything trickles out. It's holding pressure in the line right now, right? Slowly dropping. Dropped from 40 down to 38, 37, right? So it's slowly dropping, but I don't see... Oh, I think I saw it drip. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. That's where it's relieving pressure. So that's like its version of a PPRV. So it'll be cool is after we see what this does, if I can delete that assembly with a, like I do on the other hat, to see if we can gain some performance. But we'll kick her back on. Get her running again. 40 psi. I literally haven't touched any of the settings from yesterday when I tested the other pump in the other hat. 11.8 amps. All right. And then we were 1.3. It's bouncing from 1.3 to 1.4. I'll keep an eye on it here for a second. But I'll set you down and I'm going to record some of this data. Cool. So we have on the 282HP aftermarket hat, it is pulling 11.8 amps of current compared to the other pump around 15 amps. And it's bouncing 1.4 to 1.3. So I'm going to put 1.35 gallons per minute as our flow rate. Go ahead and shut her down and see what that is. 1.35 times 227.125. 306 liters an hour. So I think BBK's advertising is a little more accurate for what the pump is. It's a 300 liter per hour pump. Or it could be a little higher. It could be like a 320, 340 because we know we're losing some flow from the Venturi and the PPRV, right? From that testing and the video I did it yesterday. So 306 liters per hour. So if you were going to run the 262 in your OEM hat, right, without deleting the PPRV, we'll see what that difference is. It's not too much. I imagine, I really don't know what this pump, I could run this through some more pressure and see what we are. So let's do that real quick. Let me finish, get ahead of myself. Let me finish this and then we'll get to it. So 329 minus 306. It's 23 liters per hour. %, less flow. right? With the PPRV. In my kits, my pre-built hats, I always delete the PPRV and rely on the check valve in the pump because you get performance, right? And then we can see what that is. So 364 is what I get with the PPRV deleted minus 306. 58 liters per hour difference, and then let's get that percentage. 3 to 6, 19%. So there are the numbers. Yeah. So if you're gonna get one of these hats, don't expect it to be 400 liter per hour. And that's why guys often have a hard time making 500 wheel at 10, 12 pounds of boost. You're not in the same flow range from the get-go, even though you think you are, right? And then, like I said, let's kick her back on. I'm gonna drive her up to 50 PSI. 50. And it was having a hard time registering. 1.2, I would call that 1.2. 1.2 to 1.2, 1.3. Shouldn't be much loss. I want to say the other pump lost about 10 liters per hour at 50 pounds of pressure. So we'll give it 1.25. So this is the flow, 284 liters per hour. That's what you're getting at 10 pounds of boost, 284. So Vice, the other pump, I want to say when I tested bare, it was like 409 liters per hour at 40, and then it was like either 385 or 390. I'd have to go check the other video, but plus you have to scale it into the hat, right? So, but there, it kind of proves what I've known for a while and what I've lost count. I'd say in like 5 years, probably 20, 30 setups or more, guys come to me and have this hat and they're not getting the power they want. So they usually like, okay, so I send them an upgraded wiring kit, which usually gets you a little more range. But the pump just doesn't have the same flow potential. I guess what I knew and what you're going to get out of this is it's not a 400 liter per hour pump. So the real 400 in a hat flows this, just putting the pump in, flows that with the valve deleted, and then this hat flows 306. So it's down 8% unmodified, and it's down 19% compared to its aftermarket counterpart. Yep, so there you go. That's it.